Welcome, Jocelyn Center Facebook fans, and also those of you that are listening to us on our podcast. My name is Jack Newby. I'm the Executive Director of the Jocelyn Center. We're here on Interview Fridays. Before we get in with our guest today, I just wanted to cover a few things that are coming up here at the Jocelyn Center. For those of you that are concerned now with COVID and don't feel comfortable leaving the house, we have a whole host of virtual programming that you can access. You can register for that on our website at jocelyncenter.org. Look under the programs tab and you'll see virtual programs. And all we need is your email address for you to register, and we will send you information on our schedule of classes, virtual classes that you can attend for the month. And that's everything from exercise to educational programs to medical programs through Eisenhower Health. So be sure you check in on that. And we want to see you in our virtual programs as well as here on site. A quick reminder, if you do come to the Jocelyn Center, if you are experiencing any symptoms such as runny nose, itchy eyes, sore throat, please stay at home and take care of yourself. A lot of these symptoms of the Omicron virus or the Delta, it's so many names, I feel like I'm on fraternity row sometimes. The COVID virus, especially now, people think they have a cold or seasonal allergies. Just stay at home for a few days. Make sure, also when you're on site, we ask you to take your temperature and wear a mask at all times while taking classes. Also, I wanted to just go over real quickly some of our programs we have coming up in our Wellness Center. If you are stressed out because of all these things regarding COVID and isolation and not being able to see your friends, or if you're having family problems or relationship issues, you can call our counselors. It's free, and that's 760-340-3220, extension 117. And we can set up an appointment for you, talk with one of our counselors, go over what the issues are, and help you learn how to solve not only that issue, but other problems that may arise later on. So we give you the tools so you do not have to have that anxiety or worry that you may be dealing with now. Also, we have our Aging Mastery class coming up, and that's a National Council on Aging class. That's coming up on February 8th through 22nd, starting on Tuesday. It's a 10-session class over those weeks, and everything about lots of things, if you look at it, that concern you, we cover in that class, whether it's sleep issues, exercise, getting involved in the community, and we have experts and physicians, medication management. We have experts in the fields to talk with you about those issues. Financial management, there's a whole host of subjects that we cover in that class. And then also very popular, our Brain Boot Camp class. That's coming up next on February 16th. That's on Zoom. And on February 11th is in person. And that's a 2-session course that really covers a wide variety of things, how to remember, improve your memory for recalling names, places, things. And it was developed by the UCLA Longevity Center. And so it's a really fun class. And let me tell you, UCLA charges $300 for that class, and we don't charge nearly as much. Our class fee is $5 for that class. So that's what's going on at the Jocelyn Center. Again, be careful out there, protect yourself. We're really happy right now that we have, for our interview today, Guillermo Becerra. He is a vice president at First Bank here, and welcome, Guillermo. How are you?
Good morning, Jack. Thank you so much for the introduction. I'm doing very well. Very excited to be here, and yeah, it's a beautiful day today. It's Friday, and yeah.
Yeah, the weekend is upon us. So, tell us a little bit about you, Guillermo. Our listeners usually like to hear a little bit about the person we're talking with and some of your background.
Yes, so I was born and raised in Mexico. I moved to the U.S. when I was 11. I've been living in the Coachella Valley since. I went to school here. I went to Indio Middle School. I went to Indio High School. I moved on to College of the Desert. Did my 2 years there, and then I moved on to the University of California, Riverside, where I obtained a bachelor's degree in business administration with an emphasis in finance. After that, I thought banking felt like a natural transition with a finance degree. So that's how I ended up in my current position at First Bank. My primary function is lending.
Um,
Other things, go ahead.
Tell us a little bit about First Bank. As I understand, it's a little different than other banks that people might walk into or be familiar with.
Yeah, so First Bank is it's a large bank, but it really does feel like a community bank. It's very personable. We have full staff in all of our branches, from tellers to our no, personal bankers that can help you with your needs. Um, Customer service is really top of mind for us. If you call us, we'll pick up by the fourth ring. You don't have to waiting, you know, have to be waiting for someone to go through an automated system. So for us, customer service is of the utmost importance, and we're also very involved in the community. Officers like myself, we're involved in various organizations in the community, serving anywhere from the board to membership, and we also support um, and contribute to a lot of nonprofits in the community as well.
Well, I'm happy to say you're a member of the Jocelyn Board of Directors, and I understand you're involved with uh, the local Chamber of Commerce.
Yes, so in addition to being part of this amazing Jocelyn Center organization in the board of directors, uh, I'm also on the board of the Greater Coachella Valley Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, um, which is a new organization, and yeah, we're very excited to get it going and reach more folks.
Now, I'm sure in your position in banking and working in banking, you come across some common scams that seniors might be approached about, or things that could really harm seniors. What are some of the things that seniors and older adults should watch out for in terms of being scammed with their financial, with their savings or their financial security?
Yeah, so unfortunately, there's a lot of schemes, a lot of scams going on at the moment. With the pandemic, and we've seen, there's a lot of things going on right now with the internet. There's also been an uptick in that kind of stuff. But some of the most common ones that we've seen, actually, the most common one that we see is folks, fraudsters impersonating a legitimate business. Legitimate businesses, maybe a utility company, also Amazon. So these folks will impersonate they're this legitimate business, and they'll say something in the lines of, "There's a charge on your account that we want to remove for you," or "There's a no imbalance in your account that you need to pay, otherwise the service or product will be and you won't have access to it anymore." So they'll say those sorts of things, and then some of the red flags that you can catch on to prevent yourself from being a victim is, sometimes they'll ask for non-traditional forms of payment, such as a gift card, or a Zelle payment. So that should be an immediate red flag that if they're asking for a sort of payment in that way, a legitimate business like those, they will never ask you to pay with a gift card, or with a Zelle payment. Usually it's checks. So that should be one of the main red flags. Some of the other things that we see that those folks they'll ask for remote access into your computer. Um, so they'll send you something maybe via email to download some X software or to click on X link, and by you doing that, they'll basically take over your computer, and at that point, it's they'll have access to a lot of your very sensitive information. So that's the most prevalent scheme, and those are some of the red flags that if they ask you for that, that should immediately trigger like, okay, that doesn't sound right to me. Remote access, non-traditional forms of payment like Zelle or gift cards, those are immediate red flags. It's 99%. It's gonna be a fraudster. So just hang up.
I think a general rule of thumb is if they call you, get the number and say, I'll call you back. Or, if you initiate the call to your bank or to your financial institution, you can feel comfortable providing them information. But if someone calls you out of the blue and starts asking you for information that they should really have in front of them, that is a red flag. And I'll just point out, I've gotten a couple recently. They were, we have a document for you that and so click on the document. It looks legit from an organization having done work with, but then not only do they want the email, they want the password. And so that gives them access to your email, or a lot of times password is the password you use for your computer. So I think every day there are people out there that work full-time scamming our community. So those are some good pointers, and you're right that the kind of questionable forms of payment. Now, is the bank, and your bank or others, are kind of attuned to this and let your customers know that something is not right if that comes up with their account?
Yeah, I mean, so there's various systems and mechanisms that banks in general have in place to identify potential that an account is compromised. But some, like for those kinds of things, usually when the person falls victim, there's probably already have been some sort of exchange in funds. So then at that point it becomes a fraud investigation, and yeah, it's a little more complex. But just in generally, like if someone, like say, has access to your debit card or something like that, and they run a transaction in a whole other state, where we haven't seen that you've gone to before, then we have mechanisms in place that will contact you and say, hey, are you in this state or not? And if the answer is no, then obviously your account has been compromised or your financial information has been compromised, and then we'll take the proper steps to secure that.
And what are some of the other things that people can look at with your bank, such as financial planning, or general ways that they can protect their accounts or make sure their accounts are protected for their heirs or their spouse or partner?
Yes, yeah, thank you so much for asking that. So here at First Bank, we have a money market account for folks we have money market accounts for everybody, but we have a special account for folks that are over 55 years old, where the account has no minimum balance or service charge. So that's a really great option. And then if you keep a minimum balance of at least $500, you earn interest on the money you have in that account. The interest rate right now on checking accounts is pretty negligible, but in other times, yeah, you actually earn some money on it. So some of the things that I've seen that customers do is, they'll set up a trust, and then they'll open an account under the trust, and that trust will be prepared by an estate attorney. And then in the trust, will be delineated what should be done should X, Y, or Z event happen. Another thing that a lot of folks do is they'll add a payable on death to their account, and that's easily done. You don't need an attorney for that. You just let the bank know, hey, I want, in case something happens to me, I want this person to receive the proceeds, the money in that account, and that person can easily just go to the bank, provide their identification information that you provided to us, and have access to those funds. So those are the two common things that I've seen folks do for estate.
So that's something someone can do with their bank, the payable on death, if they don't have the resources to go to an attorney and set up a complex trust.
Yeah, I mean, there's no cost. You just let the bank know, hey, I want this person to to receive funds should something happen to me, and that's it.
And what are some of the other things that people can look for generally in working with your bank or others in terms of training you do in the community for budgeting and that sort of thing?
So First Bank, we don't offer financial advice, but we like to partner with organizations to to throw in some sort of financial um, literacy information out. So I don't have specifically now any planned, but I look forward to working with some of the local organizations to have something come up hopefully in the near future, because we do have those resources. We do have those resources to provide some financial literacy courses, which I would be happy to do at some point.
So what are in those courses, what are some of the things, because we know both older adults that may have been working one way with their finances or younger people, what are some of the things that you would talk about in a financial literacy?
Yeah, so there's a few topics. The first one, well, I'll say in no specific order, but we go over budgeting for sure. We go over home ownership. Because a big part of our business is lending, helping people get into homes, refinance. So that's also part that goes into it, and banking in general. What is a bank? What kind of products and services are offered at the bank that you have access to and that can benefit you and improve your life? So those, in short, those would probably be the top three. So banking, how to leverage your bank to your benefit, budgeting, and homeownership. So what it looks like to have a mortgage, and what you need to do to buy a house.
So a lot of people may not have a relationship with a bank. What's the importance of developing a relationship with your bank, as opposed to, if you get a payroll check, cashing it, a check cashing facility? What are some of the advantages of working with your local bank?
Yeah, so there's a plethora. There's a lot of benefits to having a relationship with your local bank. Number one, if you go to the same bank all the time, then the staff at the branch will know you, and they'll be able to better advise you on if there's unusual activity in your account. So you'll be better protected that way. And I think you also have a point of contact that you feel comfortable calling, and pretty much anyone here at the bank is very accessible to all of our customers. And yeah, there's no need, I guess. One of the things that I really like about our bank is that you can call the branch, and you'll speak to somebody by the fourth ring. You won't have to wait, talk to an automated system to speak to somebody, and after 10 minutes you're still waiting to speak to somebody. So yeah, one of the biggest benefits is definitely we can help you with any needs that you have and find ways to enhance your experience.
So if someone wanted to find out more information about First Foundation Bank, what is that number that they could call?
So it's First Bank.
Oh, First Bank, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's First Bank, and the number that they can call is 303-238-9000. So that would be the corporate number. Or they can call me directly as well. I'll provide my direct line if somebody wants to contact me. My direct line is 760-396-4080, and that's my direct line. If you call that, we'll be able to chat.
Okay, and we'll repeat that. First Bank, and you want to talk with Guillermo directly, that number is again
760-396-4080.
So I want to thank you, Guillermo, for joining us this morning. Anything else that I didn't cover that you think we should let our audience know?
Yeah, just one sale that we have going on. If you own a home and you make under $62,000 a year, the bank has a special program where the bank will pay $2,000 of your closing costs to refinance. The rate environment is still low, so if you have a high rate, it's a great time to refinance.
Okay, good information out there. So Guillermo, I want to thank you again from First Bank, and one more time, that phone number where they can contact you.
The number that they can contact me directly is 760-396-4080.
I want to thank you for joining us this morning, and hope you have a great weekend, and our audience also. Hope you all have a great weekend, and we will see you next week on the Joslyn Center Interview Friday. So thank you, Guillermo, for joining us, and have a great day.
Thank you, Jack, and thank you to our audience.
Okay.